Already started from the get-go. Alligators still let it go. Everything I do,
So first thing I look for, I roll up on any job site is, I talked about his logistics, is like getting equipment there, getting trucks there, how am I getting material there, how easy the job site going to be to move around on. So I take that in accountability when I'm pricing something. First, I get there, I ask her what the problem is, if she identifies the problem, because if it's just a basement leaking somewhere, that problem could be anywhere. In this particular case, she had a corner that was clear as day, had a crack in that's been leaking for years and years and years, and she knew where it was. It wasn't underneath the floor, it was actually in the crack in the foundation. So I attacked it a little differently, but I still, I said, you know, if we're digging your whole basement up, you might as well just check the perimeter out and see what's going on. I always like asking what their issues are having and how they'd like to fix it. That way, I don't come out of left field or right field. You know, I want to stay in their lane and don't like overwhelm them while I'm on site. I want to stay very level-headed and like very calm and don't get too like, oh, it's going to cost this, or it's going to cost that. Stay very just mindful and just treat it like you're talking to someone you talk to every day. So after we establish the problem, where the problem is coming from, so after I see, okay, the grade's not negative, there's a downspout that needs connected, this egress window in this case needs addressed, could be a potential problem. Once I figure out what's going on, then I know how to break down the price. So in this situation, we need a new egress window that needed to be excavated, and we need to excavate all the way down to the footer. Walk down to the walkout basement, I measured how tall it would be plus 2 or 3 feet or whatever, and I calculate how much dirt should come out of there. Typically, I do a 3-foot over dig from the foundation. In this situation, I'll get to in a second why I price what I do. It had a lot of river rock backfilled, like nasty old river rock that was like 4.5 feet out. So I do a much bigger over dig. So that's why when I do price these jobs, I always add a 15 or 25% buffer of a what if cost, because there's always going to be something that was not planned for. When you start digging next to someone's house, it's always just a matter of when you're going to uncover something you didn't expect to see. In this particular situation, I didn't have to go dig around, no utilities, no sewer line, no air conditioning. It was very straightforward. If you are being a waterproof job where utilities have to be dug around, or air conditioner unhooked, or a patio has to be cut around, that becomes a lot more intensive. So always make that line item separate. So in a waterproof job like this, you're gonna have your sealer, your stone, your dig time, equipment, your pipe. So before you, like any code, when you break down what you're gonna need. What you're gonna need for sure, for definite. Every situation is different. So I knew I was gonna need a smaller excavator because the one side of the house I wasn't comfortable with my own self. You probably could have done it, but I'm not confident enough with that size 60 size machine I had to dig next to the house. So I knew I needed another excavator, which in this situation, I accounted for just a day rate with that size machine. So I didn't upcharge at all. Now, if you need to have stone brought in, like I just dump somewhere, account your time back and forth with a skid steer or a mini skid, however you're gonna move the stone back and forth. Account for every trip, back and forth, it's gonna take a while. On this job site, I was able to back up stone slinger trucks and shoot stone in, so that saved down on my labor, but I had to pay a little bit more for my stone, so keep that in mind as well. So like anything else, walk the job site, see what it's gonna take, break down every line item. When you're doing your estimate, get the total cost together, and then I always add, like I said, 15, 25% just in case what if. So initially, the customer's initial planning and thought was, after we demoed the existing retaining wall, she wanted me to obviously backfill around the house with stone, fix the grade correction or whatever, and then she wanted me to just slope the back of her property after the house and just put riprap. Well, once we started digging and actually had to excavate it all out, once I saw what it would look like, I said, there's no way I can make that slope work properly. So she had mentioned to me that maybe her cousin or somebody could build a wall for her. And I said, you know, my company does build walls. If there's something you'd be interested in, I'd like to give you a quote for it. And initially I told her the price and she was not interested. And after we kept going and digging and the stone was in there, she realized the problem. So in this situation, let's just pretend this is the house. This is the foundation of the house. This is a walkout basement. So this is her patio. What we had, we tore the retaining wall out and there's nothing here to keep the stone. And she wanted the slope to come from here up and put riprap. The problem was all this backfilled stone I needed to do to keep the perimeter right in and keep from eroding was just not going to work out. So I was like, either we have to build a buffer here, like a straight up and down wall there, or I could do a retaining wall like this and wrap around tying the initial grade. The initial grade basically came to here and tied up and went that way. So after I proposed to her what I would do, she then said, let's just go ahead and build a retaining wall. So I let her see what I was saying. I just walked her through, hey, here's the problem I can see arising. Here's how I would tackle it if it was my home. And I always want to go back to, if it was my home and my situation, here's what I would do to fix it in my professional opinion. And a lot of times when you present yourself that way to somebody, they seem like you're wanting to, like I said, not take advantage of them. You're trying to be what's best for them. When a change order like that does happen though, you have to stop right at that time. Get a price established as quickly as possible. Agree to those terms before you move forward. Don't ever move forward without you guys right then and there, or either go home and get right in writing and text or something that, hey, this price is gonna be $5,000 more in this situation. Are you okay with that? And once she agrees to that, then you move forward. Typing an estimate, man, it's not that difficult. You can go to the Lowe's or Menards app and find the 99% of stuff you're gonna need. And if you don't know something, don't be afraid to call and ask somebody, you know. Even if you wanna contact me, and if I don't know, I'll call someone and ask. I didn't learn this stuff by just knowing it, guys. I went out there in the trenches and I did it. I learned, I messed stuff up and I learned that way. So that's what I'm trying to show you. It's more tangible to do this than what you think. If you can run a machine, you have integrity, you're a good person, you have a work ethic, and you're afraid to make your faults, then you could be successful in anything. If you're interested in doing more stuff like this or hearing about more stuff like this, please leave comments below. I'm trying to open up more and be more transparent with you guys about how I sell stuff and how I am, and that's why I'm doing this. I want you guys coming up to have the ability to learn like I did and be successful like I am.